Jordan is our gateway into the Middle East. We'll enter the characteristic red sands of the Wadi Rum desert, visit Petra, one of the 7 New World wonders, and feel the warm hospitality of the Middle East. On the other hand, we'll also feel totally out of place traveling through the rough, cold and remote countryside of Jordan, far away from all the tourist attractions and infrastructure.
We're Camilla and Anouk, and after finishing high school, we decided to travel before starting anything else. So we converted Dakar, our 4x4 Mitsubishi Pajero, into a camper. After 3 months of traveling the Balkans, we decided to ship Dakar over the Mediterranean to Israel. And here we are. After a month in Israel, we're now entering the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. The border crossing in this direction is easy, and on a sunny Thursday afternoon in December, we make it to the other side.
Wo sind wir, Milo?
Jordanien! The first thing we do is take off the sticker with which we covered our Arabic writing on Dakar. We needn't have covered it in Israel, but we did it out of uncertainty before entering the country. We wrote this phrase onto the paint back in Germany before we even knew that it would take us into the Middle East.
The writing says, Sadaka Bain el-Shaw, meaning friendship between nations, even though we were often told that the English translation couldn't quite grasp the depth of the Arabic phrase.
Aqaba is a warm city at the Red Sea in the south of Jordan. We spent our first days here, buy a local SIM card, change money and spend Christmas snorkeling. Sadly, our travel credit card is swallowed by an ATM and we have no chance to get it back. After the first shock is overcome, we manage to use our normal credit card. We stroll through the old streets and observe the differences to Israel. Within a few kilometers, the architecture of houses and street has drastically changed. The culture is totally different. Suddenly few people speak English, and for the first time on our trip, we stand out with our appearance. People look at us on the streets, say hello, and we stop to blend in with everyone else. On the last evening in Aqaba, we meet Tessir and his family, who invite us to their camp in Wadi Rum.
So the next day, we leave the warm coast and wind our way up into the mountains of Jordan. The landscape around us slowly starts to change, the temperatures drastically drop, and it starts to get sandy. The valley of Wadi Rum is a place known for its characteristic iron-red sand and rough rock formations. This surreal landscape was a set for films like Lawrence of Arabia, Interstellar, Aladdin, and Dune. For us, this desert is a very special one, because it's the first sand desert we ever enter, and we entered with our own German car. We are a little excited, because we both have no experience whatsoever with driving in the sand. Luckily, there's heavy rain during the first days, so the sand is more solid and easier to drive.
We enter Wadi Rum village, and even though we expected it to be a touristy place, the village itself looked quite run down and poor. Tourists don't really stay in the village, they are brought into fancy desert camps from here. Most of the locals don't live in the desert anymore. In the village they have electricity, phone reception and running water. We visit Tessir and his family and are invited for lunch at his place. We enjoy having a glimpse into their day-to-day life.
He sees himself as a Bedu, meaning Bedouin. He was born into a nomadic Arab tribe, freely roaming the lands with their livestock. Later on, his family moved into the village so their children could go to school. The place his family's tent stood is now a camp Tessir offers for tourists to stay at. But because of COVID, Jordan didn't have any visitors for a long time. Many people here have tourism as their main source of income, offering jeep tours, camel rides, and desert camp accommodations. Additionally, the state is currently trying to make Bedouins pay taxes for the land they have their camps on, without in return offering infrastructure like running water and electricity. Why should we pay taxes? Tissia asks us. My family has lived here for hundreds of years. This is our home, our land.
The following days we freely explore the vast region with Dakar, thankful for our four-wheel drive. Nevertheless, we managed to get stuck. For the first time on our journey, we use our recovery boards and shovel. We patiently dig ourselves free.
On we go, leaving Wadi Rum behind us. Before us lies Petra, a place where the Nabateans chiseled huge and detailed facades into the rocks during the 3rd century before Christ. The Nabateans were nomadic Arabs that gained wealth trading along the incense route. As their trading flourished, they carved palaces, temples, tombs, storerooms and stables from the soft stone cliffs, and made Petra the capital of their kingdom. By cutting rainwater irrigation systems into the rock, they could harness the dry and hostile desert climate and permanently live in Petra.
Petra is a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1985 and is described as one of the most precious cultural properties of man's cultural heritage. Petra is Jordan's most visited tourist attraction, reaching about 1 million visitors per year. It is also one of the new 7 World Wonders, a visit being on the bucket list of many people around the world. Well, you can imagine how crowded Petra is.
To be honest, we knew it would be touristy, but the sheer amount of people still hit us hard. The masses of people pushing their way through the narrow valley, locals trying to sell camel rides, children selling souvenirs, dogs, donkeys and camels everywhere. We had our difficulties to enjoy our visit. True kindness was hard to differentiate between people trying to make a profit. We felt overwhelmed and decided to hike above the treasury. From up there, everything seemed so calm. Only up here we were able to take in the beauty of this place.
At first hand, we felt how excessive tourism could destroy a place and its people. I guess it's also important to know that Jordan's economy depends largely on the income they make through tourism. The country itself doesn't have oil fields and can't produce much. 98% of their consumable goods are imported from abroad. Its water scarcity and cold climate makes agriculture hard. At the same time, Jordan's population has nearly doubled over the last few years, enhanced by thousands of refugees fleeing from Syria in 2011. Jordan took in 675,000 of their Arab neighbors that were forced to leave their home.
The lack of financial resources felt omnipresent in Jordan. Touristy places could make you forget this easily, but as soon as we leave Petra and enter the vast plains leading to the capital Amman, it's unmistakable. Small villages in the middle of nowhere. No running water, no schools. Seemingly no jobs other than herding goats and sheep in the endless rocky nothingness. Maybe the cold, gloomy and foggy weather underlines the tristesse and hopelessness we felt while passing village after village on small old country roads. It's the first time on our journey that we feel totally out of place. What are we even doing here? Traveling out of mere joy, because we can afford not to work, because our family doesn't need our income or help, because we were born in a country that is so privileged in many ways. If anyone in the villages would have asked us what we are doing in Jordan, I would have had my difficulties telling them that we are traveling in our own car because we felt like it after high school. Oh, no, we don't work while we travel. We saved up some money and our currency is strong enough to cover all our day-to-day expenses here. It would have felt so wrong. Well, no one asked us, because they didn't speak English. Schon sehr triest alles bei dem Wetter, oder? Sonne macht da schon einen Unterschied.
It's in Jordan that we experience children begging on the street for the first time. While we spend 4 days trying to escape the thick fog and icy wind, we slip into a depressive mood. The whole country is very mountainous. The average altitude is about 800 meters above sea level. We just want to reach the Dead Sea, where temperatures will be nice and warm again. We reach the Dead Sea and slowly defrost. After 2 weeks, we reach Amman, the capital of Jordan. Amman looks comparably wealthy and has big supermarkets and malls. We decide to take an Airbnb to recover for a while. We explore the city only a little. It rains a lot and we don't feel receptive. Before leaving the city, we have our rear brakes replaced and spend a day in the Mitsubishi car service. The people working here are extremely nice and speak good English. We felt well taken care of.
Outside of touristy places, we really liked Jordanians. Wherever we went, people offered us their help, smiled at us on the street, invited us for supper, or sometimes insisted on giving us their phone number so we could contact them if we had problems. This unconditional readiness to help and their friendliness warmed our hearts. People told us about their life, how things are changing and how inflation makes it ever harder for them. They asked us about our life, about how we perceive Jordan. We weren't just seen as some stupid tourists that could be ripped off, but as humans. This openness was mostly outside of touristy places. At tourist attractions, it sadly felt like the opposite.
It's in Amman that we apply for a Saudi Arabia visa online. We leave Amman, and on our way to the border of Saudi, we pass by some beautiful old castles. They are a great opportunity for little stops.
Slowly but surely, our time in Jordan ends. A country that challenged us in many ways, and that won't be our favorite country on the journey. Later on, we hear from some friends that they struggled with the same problems as we did while overlanding Jordan. Maybe it was the wrong time of the year, our simple style of traveling, and some misfortunes that all together made Jordan tough for us.
And then we enter Saudi Arabia, a country that has only opened up in late 2019 for tourist travels. We expect endless sun-drenched deserts and are surprised by diverse, raw and stunning nature. We set foot in a country that will accompany us for many months of our journey and will become a close friend of ours. We will experience a country in transition between deeply rooted conservative beliefs and drastic change and modernity.
See you soon!